Welcome to fourth grade language. This is lesson 138. This should be Monday's work. And we're going to start right off with singing our preposition song. So I'm not going to put the charts up today, so just look in your book on page 206, unless you have them memorized now. But we're going to sing these songs. I'm sorry, we're going to sing this song to help us learn the prepositions, okay? Aboard, about, above, across, after, against, along, among, around, at. These are the first ones: before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, by, down, during, except, for, and from, in, inside, into, like, near, of, off, on, over, past, since, through, and throughout, to, toward, under, underneath, until, up, upon, with, within, without. Now I am finished. Very good. All right, we're going to take a look at a couple things on the board. Today the pages are 209 to 210. We're going to be doing everything except for remember E at the end of 210, okay? So 209 is just one exercise, think A, and then we're going to do write B, write C, and think D is actually your homework for this lesson. So if you get done, and you can do that as well after that, you may. Okay. Up here, the dog is in the box. All right. Where is our prepositional phrase? How do we go about finding our prepositional phrase? First thing we should do is to look for a preposition. Okay. No, it's an article. Dog, that's a noun. Is a verb. In, what about in? In is our preposition, right? In, into, like, near, off, yep. All that in the box. Now we go until we find what? We go until we find the preposition's best friend, right? The OP, the object of the preposition. So that's our noun or a pronoun that would come after our preposition. Okay, in the box is our full prepositional phrase. In is our preposition, box is our object. The describes box and therefore goes with that. So sometimes one of our words in our preposition list is in a sentence without an OP. Okay, in that case, the word is not a preposition. Instead, it's an adverb telling where or when, okay? So we're going to be taking a look at that. Let's look at this one, the second sentence. I swam across the river. I swam across the river. All right, we look for our preposition, right? Aboard, about, above, across, after, against, across, right? Right, across? All right, that's how I like to find my prepositions. If I am unsure, I start saying the prepositions. I swam is our subject and verb. Across, and what is the end of our phrase? Across the river is the end of the sentence. Is that where it ends, or does it end before the end of the sentence? We look for a noun, okay? River, across the river, this is the OP, and this is our preposition. Okay, preposition, and then the objects of the preposition most of the time are nouns, okay? Occasionally we have some that are pronouns, but most of the time it is a noun. All right, so let's look at some sentences that do not have an object of the preposition for their preposition, so therefore it would be an adverb. Some words in a preposition list may be used as more than one part of speech. They will be prepositions only if they have an object. If a word that looks like a preposition does not have an object, then it is probably an adverb telling where or when. He searched behind the shelves. Okay, they've marked off behind the shelves, right? And preposition is the behind, and shelves is the object. And so that is a prepositional phrase. But he was lagging behind when we climbed the hill. is there a noun directly after or after some, after only adjectives that it would be a preposition there? He was lagging behind when we climbed the hill. No, because when we climb the hill is actually a different phrase, and we haven't really looked at that yet, but that when tells us that it's a start of a new phrase. So behind there is describing where he was lagging behind, okay? So that's an adverb. The planes soared above the clouds, okay? Above the clouds is our prepositional phrase. Clouds is an object, therefore above is a preposition in this sentence. But let's look at a sentence that above is not a preposition. We watched them flying above yesterday. Were they flying above yesterday? No, they were flying just above the people, right? So where they were flying was above, and that's an adverb. Okay, we stood before the gorilla's cage. Again, before the gorilla's cage is a prepositional phrase because it begins with a preposition and it ends with an object. Cage is the whole thing. Where did they stand? They stood before the gorilla's cage. Since that is a whole phrase, that is an adverb phrase that describes stood, but it is a prepositional phrase, okay? I had never seen a gorilla before. When had you never seen a gorilla? Before. So that's an adverb, okay? So that really helps us to identify whether they're an adverb or a preposition. And so in Think A, you're going to identify the underlined word by writing preposition or adverb in the blank. And then if the word is a preposition, you are going to circle the object, okay? So circling the object, I think you guys all know what a circle looks like, but that's what you would do. All right, so that helps you. All right, so the first one, we're going to do the first two together to get you into this. The painting fell down when the nail came out of the wall. Down is underlined. Does down have an object or is it an adverb? Notice it's very similar in wording to the sentence, the second sentence in that yellow box. He was lagging behind when we climbed the hill. That when tells you that it's a new phrase and it's not, when is not a noun or a pronoun, so it can't be the object. And the next word that could be an object is nail. Does down the nail sound right? But really, when is in the middle. Down when the nail? No, that doesn't sound right. So down is an adverb and it describes where it fell. It fell down, okay? Number 2, he looked down the street to make sure no one was coming. Down again is the word that we're looking at. It's underlined. We have to know if it's a preposition or an adverb, okay? Is there an object after down? Yes, the word street, down the street. Where he looked was down the street, okay? So that whole phrase is your prepositional phrase. So you're going to write preposition in the blank and you're going to circle street. All right, and so then I'm going to let you do the rest of those on your own. And we're going to turn the page and I'm just going to explain, write B, C, and then think D, just so you know what you're doing, and then I'm going to let you go at it. Okay, write B says to is a preposition and TOO is an adverb. TWO is a noun or an adjective. Write one sentence with each word on notebook paper. Okay, so TO is a preposition. So what does it need if it's a preposition? It needs an object. We went to the store. Okay, don't use that sentence. Be creative, use your own, okay? But that's your example for TO. Remember, two is like too much, okay? So think about that. And then TWO is the number 2, okay? So go ahead and come up with a sentence, you need a piece of paper for those, and then write C. You can do on the same piece of paper, on notebook paper, write 2 sentences using along, once as an adverb and once as a preposition. So one time you use it with an object and one time you use it without an object. And it just describes where or when for of the verb in your sentence, okay? Think D. The way that a word is used in a sentence determines its part of speech. Read these sentences carefully and identify the part of speech of the italicized word by writing N for noun, V for verb, PRO for pronoun, ADJ for adjective, ADV for adverb, or PREP for preposition in the blank. Okay, this is when you are allowed to use those abbreviations. On the previous page, write those words out, adverb and preposition, okay? They give you plenty of space, and I want you to practice writing those words out. But here you are allowed to use the abbreviation. And so identify that. So some of these words can be used in many different ways, okay? So just be careful and just go through them and just say, okay, how is it being used? If you're struggling with this, please, please, please ask your parents and they can help you. Now, the other thing that you need to do is, and you can do this on the exact same piece of paper that you did write B and write C, and I want you to write out your preposition list 2 times, okay? We are working up to a quiz of writing them from memory, okay? So keep working. That quiz is, I've got it. That quiz is gonna be in lesson 141, okay? So start working on that, start memorizing them. Use that song. There is a, I will send the link to your parents. That song has a video, and it just goes through the list exactly as I've been doing it. So I can send that to your parents so that they have it and that you can listen to that as well. But, or you could just go back on one of my videos that we've sung it and sing it again with me, okay? But I want you to keep working on that and get through Think D. You don't have to do Remember E. That's for the next lesson. And do your best, and we will talk with you next time.